Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Easler. I'm the head instructor at drugtestingcourses.com. Today I wanted to talk to you about direct observation procedures. So let's say you're doing a DOT urine specimen collection, the donor has provided you a sample, you've checked it out, you look at it and you see, oh, there it is, it's got blue or green or it smells like bleach. Obviously there's some signs that it has been adulterated. So what do you do? First thing we're going to do is package up that specimen and send it off to the laboratory. Next thing we're going to do is get out our new form and cross-reference the original form and then begin our direct observation procedures. So when we do this, we need to explain to the donor what's going to happen, but we also need to make sure that we're controlling the situation, because we really don't want to have this donor blow up on us, or we don't want this donor to at least get extremely defensive, which obviously can certainly happen if you start making accusations that they've somehow adulterated the specimen. So I've come up with a unique way of helping you guys to handle the situation using psychology and sociology here to make sure that hopefully you don't have too much of an issue when you have to do one of these direct observations. So I've got 3 main tips here for us to stay on track to make sure that we get through this direct observation smoothly and efficiently without any issues. So the first thing we're going to do is the why. Okay, so the second thing we're going to do is the what. And the third thing we're going to go over is 2 commands. Okay, so this is our framework. We've got the why, the what, and the 2 commands. Okay, the first component here, the why, is where we're going to explain to the donor why we're doing the test. Why do we have to do this direct observation, which seems so invasive, right? And think about this as if you were somehow accused and you were put in the shoes of the donor in this case. How would you want to be treated? You would want to know at least a little bit about why suddenly someone is asking you to remove their clothing in front of somebody, right? So obviously we're going to have to explain that to them so that they really get that at least initial respect portion out of the way, so that you know that, hey, I'm not just doing this out of the blue, I'm doing this because I have to according to our procedures. So that's our why. And it could be something as simple as hey, there was just something unusual with the specimen that you provided, and therefore we're going to have to do a direct observation. You know, you can use whatever kind of adjective you want to use. I like unusual. Some people use funky. Some people use another kind of word there. But what you don't want to put in there is, you know, I see that you gave us a blue specimen. Natural human specimen is not blue, and therefore we believe that you've adulterated the specimen, and therefore we have to do this direct observation. In that case, if you were a donor receiving that information, you would probably get a little defensive. You'd say, oh, are you accusing me of messing with the test? And that's going to create conflict that we don't really need in the process. All we need is just to get this direct observation completed. We don't need to have an argument with the donor. We don't need to, you know, challenge the merits of our decision to do a direct observation or anything like that. So that's our why. Okay, the next thing we're going to move into is the what. Okay, the what is really explaining to the donor in advance of doing the test what's actually going to happen when we go in there and have this direct observation completed. And this is another respect thing. We're showing them, hey, you know, we're not just going to spring this on you. We're going to take you in there and then we're just going to tell you what you need to do, and then you have no idea of what to expect. Okay, so we want to explain this just nice and easy. You don't have to be too detailed, but you do want to make sure you've gone over every single step in the process, so that they know what to do. In addition, this is a great point to incorporate, especially if you have to have somebody who is of a different gender than you go in and do the direct observation for you. Because at this point you can have that person come in and listen to this explanation at the same exact time that the donor is listening. And that way there's no he said, she said. There's no way that there was a different expectation of what was supposed to happen in the restroom when the 2 individuals go into the restroom together, without you being present. So that's another great reason to have this what explanation completed before we really start that process. So what I would normally say is, all right, donor, and obviously you're going to use their name. So let's call our first donor here April. So April, there was something unusual about the specimen that you gave us. That's our why. So we're going to have to do what's called a direct observation. Now what that means is, and this is our what that means is we're both going to go into the restroom together. From that point, you're gonna lift your shirt up to around your rib cage, your pants to around your knees. You're gonna turn around so that I can check and make sure that there's no possible way that you could adulterate the specimen with any kind of tubes, prosthetic devices, tools, or anything that's really out of the ordinary. So I'm gonna check you for that. Then you're gonna void directly into the cup that I give you, and then we're gonna come back out and finish up the process as normal. All right, so that's our what. Pretty simple explanation, right? We just told her what to expect. She's gonna go in, we're gonna lift up the shirt, we're gonna turn around, we're gonna check to make sure there's no devices, and then she's gonna void directly into the cup as we observe that, and then she's gonna hand it back to us, and then we're gonna complete the process as normal. So that's our what. The next thing we're gonna do is the 2 commands. This is more of a psychological technique here, a little strategy to occupy the mind. It's a little bit more difficult for somebody, with the modern manners that we use to deny or decline to do 2 commands at once. And that way we're not tripped up in the middle of something where they're trying to defend themselves or ask a lot of questions that are a little bit premature for this stage in the process. Again, we really want to get this thing going very quickly, as soon as possible. So what we're going to tell her right as soon as we're done with our what explanation, we're going to butt that up with our 2 commands. That's going to be, all right, so for right now, what I need you to do is go ahead and wash your hands and select the cup. Okay, and then you walk over there, have her wash her hands, select the cup, and then you can start working with you go right into that direct observation procedure from there. So those are our 3 different tips and tricks, 3 little strategies, the why, the what, and the 2 commands for us to go ahead and get these direct observations completed properly and efficiently without too many hassles. So if you guys have any other questions about these, please reach out. Give us a call, 1-888-390-5574. That'll be right here on the bottom of the page here, drugtestingcourses.com. Let us know if you have any comments, questions, concerns, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much and have a great day.